We are live.
Cool. Yes, hi everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday live stream of our group Friendship Skill 4.0 for this digital age. Thanks for joining our session today or watching the video later on afterwards. I'm just going to refresh my page so that I can see the comments as well. Cool. Feel free to ask the questions during our live session. We will try to answer them. And please like and share our video so that we can reach a broader audience. I also posted it on Twitter, but I don't know if a lot of people will join from there. Our topic of the week is how to find a firm direction so we don't lose ourselves in our social life. In this live session, we have a guest. Cool. I love that. Please welcome my co-host, Johan Rylander. Welcome, Johan. How's your day?
Thank you. I'm fine. Really nice to be here,
Welcome.
and thank you. No, but we're having a beautiful time now in Sweden. Here it's the prime time of the year, beautiful pre-summer. So I'm really fine, feeling great.
Cool. We would love to get to know you a bit better. Johan, please tell our group what's your name, where you're from, and what are you doing for your living?
Okay, so my name is Johan Rylander in Swedish.
Mhm,
I live in Uppsala, in the middle of Sweden, an hour from Stockholm.
mhm,
I work as an auxiliary nurse at the hospital here in Uppsala. I've done
mhm.
that for about 25 years.
Cool.
And now I am about to launch my own coaching business. I want to start coaching people and also be a public speaker.
Mhm.
I recently, 4 years ago, managed to leave a 25-year long destructive marriage in which I was domestically abused. So I'll be turned 55, but I feel reborn.
Thank you, Johan, so far. Often there are a lot of different definitions for things. Therefore, let's clear it up for this session at least. Out of your perspective, what's life coaching about, and what exactly is your area of expertise?
Okay, so life coaching, of course, as we can hear about the name, you coach people. Life is a beautiful thing, and but opportunities in life or whatever, you kind of get into situations like myself. I got into my destructive marriage, and I was stuck for 25 years, and I didn't really see that coming.
Mhm,
Anyway, but coaching is about trying to see where is a person right now, where does this person want to go, and this is what I try to do. And as you can see, here is I'm a Viking mindset coach, and
mhm,
Vikings are my Scandinavian ancestors, and it's kind of right now. Many people have watched the show on Netflix and
the
Vikings,
Vikings.
yeah, Vikings, and the new film Northman with
Mhm,
Alexander Skarsgård, and but there's so much more about the Vikings than conquering, than be war and fighting, and there's mindset about behind. And the more I studied the Viking
mhm,
mindset, the more I kind of felt that, hey, this really suits me, because I came out of my relationship 4 years ago. I was a small midget at that time, because you being abused,
mhm,
you kind of lose yourself. You lose so much of who you are. So I felt, reading all of these mindset quotes by the Vikings, by my Nordic ancestors,
mhm,
and myself coming from Uppsala, which was the holy center of the Vikings. I mean, it really fitted in. So I use this in my I would say that my area of expertise is that I try to help especially men, but
Mm-hmm.
also women who have been in destructive marriages where they have
Mm-hmm.
been subjected to domestic violence, to find their lost confidence, to find their new, to help them on a Viking journey towards a new horizon,
Mm-hmm.
to find on the way, to try to see where are they right now, what have they got as a goal, where they want to go, and then I from that I use Viking mindset quotes. I listen. I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
I've done my Viking journey, and I know how one can, uh, yeah, find a firm direction to,
Mm-hmm.
as today's topic, to find this direction in life, because it's not all that easy.
It's like rebuilding your inner self after
Exactly.
a destructive phase. With abuse is mostly that one person puts the other one down in certain ways,
Yeah.
size physical or mentally,
Hmm.
and that's of course has a direct impact on our emotional well-being. So we feel
Mm.
bad, and that's of course a
Yeah.
very important topic for our community, because I
Exactly.
can imagine if you are treated bad in these ways, you also have difficulties to form healthy and stable social relationship with other people afterwards, I guess.
Exactly, because when you get out of this relationship, you have
Mm-hmm.
such a low self-esteem. So, what I noticed in myself, for example, is that in the beginning, some years ago, I still, even though I was free from my destructive past,
Mm-hmm.
I noticed how I said, "What do you want to do?" Well, we can go there, we can do this. And then
Mm-hmm.
someone said, well, shouldn't we do this instead? And in 1 second, I just said, sure, let's do it.
Flipped.
I, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
stick up for my own values, and who was Johan, who was me, who was this person who had, and I was so used to being someone pleasing others, pleasing my ex-wife all the time, because if I didn't, she would, there's so much more abuse than the physical one. You have,
Mm-hmm.
as you said, mental abuse, you have financial abuse, you have so many things. But, and all of this abuse breaks you down and you become so small. So that's why I've done this. I made it into a mission to raise
Mm-hmm.
awareness on especially abuse against men, because as you all know, this is nothing that is spoken about in the world today. We know about men hitting women, but the other way around is something that is a kind of a taboo. So
Mm-hmm.
therefore, I thought this is going to be my life mission to help and to try to build these men up, and that's what I'm doing with my coaching. Yeah,
We had a very famous trial where the one
mm,
actor was abused and won on trial. I think
exactly.
that was a great win for a lot of men who have been abused, and
Mm,
stating in public as well that they have been abused. I think for a guy it's especially difficult to state, because you you have to be you have to excuse yourself for being the weak one in a relationship sometimes.
exactly. And
Uh,
you have such a macho culture in the world, and
mhm,
a man is supposed to be in a certain way. You must be strong. You should never be a victim.
mhm,
And if you are a victim, I mean, I speak to people every week. I'm part of a non-profit organization here in Sweden
mhm,
where we help male victims, because there are no safe houses for male victims. I had to wait for 25 years until I had the luck to come to one.
mhm.
But anyway, I speak to people who are what do you call it, firemen,
Fireman,
militaries, strong, big guys, and they are so small within,
mhm,
and nobody believes that they are a victim of this abuse, because they are ashamed, not more than women are also ashamed, but what I mean is that society has this perception about men
Mhm.
that we're not supposed to be victims, but there are so many victims of this kind of abuse, and
Mhm.
and and therefore I feel that there are not so many who work with helping men with regaining their lost
Mhm.
confidence. And that's why I decided to become a Viking mindset coach, working with specifically men, but I also
Mhm.
work with women because there are, female Vikings called shield maidens.
Mhm.
So I try to talk about this domestic violence as a non-gender. It
Mhm.
has no gender. So I help men and
Mhm.
women because both. It's not about gender, it's about people being small because of another human being, and then you
Mhm.
want to build them up. So that's what I do.
You already have started as your life coaching, or are you going to start soon?
Well, I'm we could say that I'm in the process,
Mhm.
and I'm ready to take on clients,
Mhm.
uh, as I myself have been struggling with PTSD for the
Mhm.
last couple of years. It takes time, but also I want to do this right. So because
Mhm.
my clients, they come from a past which is pretty serious, and I
Mhm.
want to really do it well. So I've been
Ah.
preparing quite some time now, and I've been studying a lot. And I'm
Mhm.
I'm an NLP coach, so I use timeline coaching. I use
Mhm.
various NLP techniques, but I think I owe it to my future clients to that this coaching is, you know, on point.
Mhm.
So, but I mean, I'm ready to go. It's just that one has to build up a little bit a business
Ah.
and try to have it organized. And so I have the expertise. I know what to do. I know what to help
Mhm.
people with. It's just a matter of a bit organize. I'm organizing my home, my website.
Mhm.
Doing all of those things, but I'm
Wish
ready
you
to
all
go.
the luck with that, that
Yes,
you can
thank you
start
so much. Thank you so
with
much.
your Viking business journey soon, that you can reach your goals there as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for sharing this with us so far. It's really amazing because I think all that it's a very important topic. Therefore, I
Yes.
was really happy that you said, okay, let's have a live session together.
Mhm.
Later on, Johan, you told that you might be restructuring some stuff, but could you please share your Facebook page and your group in the comments after our session from this video,
Definitely.
that
Yes, I will do
people
so.
can
So
find you. Mhm.
exactly, I will do that definitely.
Mhm. Our topic of the week is how to find a firm direction so we don't lose ourselves in our social life. What do you think is effective for that?
Well, it is important to, I by my own experience,
Mhm.
um, to try to go deep down into yourself because uh, it's about you, right? It's about us. Uh, what you want. You should. One of the Viking quotes that I love is that you should not let other people's perceptions of you define you as a person,
Mhm.
and that is so true because you have more value than you even know, and and this is especially important with the people that I work with because they come out of a relationship and they don't know who they are. They know have heard that they are useless, they are nobody, they are low life. I came out of the relationship not knowing who I was, and
Mhm.
I lost the person who I was. So I have little by little, it's so important that you
Mhm.
go inside of yourself. What do you really think of life? What are your virtues? What are your values? What do you believe in? And go from there. Yeah.
That means in this case you start from the bottom, getting a new picture of yourself.
Yeah.
And but how does it work with the Viking code? Do you have for every phase you have another quote which you follow to
Well, I have
like
a
them
lot
as a
of
goal?
quotes. Yeah, you have the Havamal, the Viking Bible, you say, but there is a
Mm,
lot of good stuff there. So
mm,
depending on where, for example, if I look at myself,
mm,
how I used all of these quotes, I read and read, and I found that, well, this really suits me right now here,
mm,
and I take it and I use it, and then and when I that's how I work as a coach. I listen to the client, of course,
mm,
and where this client is right now, and then we go through, and I'm pretty quick now to find, well, this person has this problem, and
mm,
he or she needs this, and then we go from a quote, and then I start asking, what do you think about this?
mm,
And it is so important to know that you have such worth in yourself.
mm.
Yeah, we are you have a value. And we should never forget that we are what we are, and no other person should tell us you are useless, because they don't know. Yeah,
So don't let them take your value away. Like don't
exactly.
let you be put in a box.
Yeah,
Uh, and how do you carry this core values in your social all day life interactions? How is the next step from discovering, yes, I have a value, uh, to demonstrate this value in our social relationships?
yeah.
What's the next step?
That's a very important question you're asking, because of course, when you have no self confidence, you don't have a self esteem,
Mm,
and you get together with friends or a group of people.
mm,
What you can do is, what I try to teach my clients is that you can kind of, it's not about faking, it's about pretending. You can show, you can, there are some small tips that you can look a person in the eye. You
mm,
can go, your posture, for example, be assertive and don't
mm,
hesitate, and just try to understand that if you have an you have you think this way, yeah,
mm,
and stick to that, because that's your thought, that's what
mm,
you think, that's your virtue, that's your value. And if you just know that it's okay to be confident, it's okay to be assertive, it is okay.
mm,
So, in the meantime, while you are so hesitant, while you're insecure, you can pretend, kind of go in there and fake it until you make it a little bit. Um, but it is like a marathon, I would say. You should
mm,
never think that coming out of a relationship where you have been pushed down to your knees, you have no self-esteem. You should take it step by step. But anyway,
mm,
and just try to. I mean, social life. You have always a choice with
mm,
whom you socialize. Yeah, and try to find people who are in your area, or how should I say it, who think like you, because what I've noticed, that people try to be someone they are not.
Mm-hmm.
I have my son, for example. He's 17 years old. He tries to be someone. He grew up. He's
Mm-hmm.
17, and he grew up in a very hard family situation. But I stick to him now every day, and I notice that he tries to be someone he's not.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not only kids doing that, but I mean we as adults also try to be someone that we are not, because well, people seem to like this kind of
Person.
quality in
Yeah.
a person.
Ah.
Yeah. So
So it's the same thing like following the other's advice. When somebody says, "Let's go playing football," yes, okay. Let's make this, yes, okay. It's although to make a role play to look like somebody the other would probably like.
exactly. And
Yeah.
instead you should, because no, I'm not so into football. Let's do this
Mhm.
instead.
Ah. That's sometimes it's like it's it's a form of acting in for others to in the thinking that I can only be part of this group, a member of this group, if I show certain qualities,
Exactly.
and that's the gameplay you were talking about. Okay, I get
Yeah,
you. I get you. I
yeah,
get your
because
point.
that's so important. Never think that you have to act in a way to be popular. You know,
Hmm.
people, I saw one of the comments in the group that's, if you just show yourself and be confident, people will appreciate you.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think someone wrote that in the comments in your group, yeah, in the
Hmm.
discussion. Mm.
Because that's a thing we not only hear a lot of about in our group about abductive relationships, although some people introverts who have problems to come out because
Yeah.
they want to if they would like to fit in, they would pretend to be somebody who they aren't.
Mm.
And then the big question is it better to hang out with people and pretending, or better to look for other people who fit better?
Uh, you are who you are,
Mm-hmm.
and to stick to who you are is always the best. I try
Mm-hmm.
to teach my clients that you should never try to be someone else. I've done that for 25 years. I was a pleaser. I tried to make my ex-wife happy in every way possible, and you know what happened? I lost myself.
Ah.
I lost myself, and I became a mere shadow of the man I had been in my life before. And after leaving, I'm not the same man now that I was before I met her, because I went through 25 years of darkness. But what I
Mm-hmm.
did learn is that I value myself so much, and what I believe, that I know that it's no harm telling other friends or people, I believe this. I don't
Mm-hmm.
agree with what you're saying. You can
Mm-hmm.
say it in a way which is perfectly normal, without, because what happens with me, I remember I had a bad conscience, and I was, kind of timid and
Mm-hmm.
shy to say that I don't agree with you. So I would
Mm-hmm.
say, okay, yeah, sure. And I agreed, even though I
Ah.
didn't. Yeah. So it's so
Ah.
important that you know that your own worth. So don't stick with people and do things that you will regret tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we only have one life.
Cool. You already mentioned one comment. That's good bridge to the next chapter of our live session.
Yes,
Let's have a look into the comments in our group. There have been some amazing thoughts this week, and I picked a few of them. We can't speak about all of just too many, and I shorted them. I shorted them to fit the banner.
yes,
Let's speak about Equatoriano Tech the Golden Voice comment.
yes.
He wrote, I didn't, when I was a teenager, I was a pleaser without ever taking care of myself. and what's that changed for him. So by knowing my true self, I stay humble, respect everyone's perspective and opinion, then go on with life, privileging my future interest and happiness over everything. Johan, is that the way to go, or what do you think about it?
What I like about this, he said, I stay humble and I respect everyone, and then go on with life, privileging my future interests and happiness over everything. I mean, this is exactly what I try to talk to my clients, that
Mm-hmm.
you can privilege your own interests and your own happiness without being uh, a person who people won't like.
Mm-hmm.
People will appreciate you anyway. And as long as you are humble, as long as you respect other people's,
Mm-hmm.
but you should never forget that they also have to respect your opinion, your happiness, your interests. So
Mm-hmm.
that is for you to grow as a person. It's so important to go inwards, find your inner Viking, find your inner shield maiden, and
Mm-hmm.
what is it that I want to do? What do I believe? What is my what do I believe? You know,
Mm-hmm.
and so but then it's so I love that part where you know, being humble, to stay
Mm-hmm.
humble and respect others, while you also put forward what you want to do. Yeah, it's a great comment there.
Thank you for let's go to the next comment. Ian Dishart, he brought another perspective in the topic.
Yeah.
He wrote about time and energy. Set boundaries by deciding and communicating when you are not available to socialize, and keep to them. Most people appreciate you have to work and are also entitled to your own rest, sleep, and space.
Mm. That
Why is
is
this?
also a
Mm,
great comment, because you know, there I used to say, I always say to my clients and to people, there's only one you.
mm,
And if you don't tend to your rest, tend to your sleep, tend to your space, if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't practice self-love, if you don't practice self-care, if you don't set these boundaries, you're out for a tough life, because
mm,
you're not on this planet to please others. You are here to like um, uh, well, to communicate with other people, but in order to communicate, in order to be this person, you have to be you, right? So
mm,
yes, set boundaries and tell people that, okay, if right now I'm not available, I have to do
mm,
this and that, but maybe in 3 days, on
mm,
Thursday, I have a space. Yeah, let's do it then,
no.
because
That's
then you respect yourself. Yeah,
mm,
and that is the most self-respect is such an important thing. You should never lose your self-respect.
and it's I had a few more comments with Ian Dishart about it, and
Yeah,
something what I discover is that even on social media, a
yeah,
lot of people are really demanding,
yeah.
because they ask you to be available 24/7. Though if they feel like chatting to you, they seem to expect an answer right away, or at maximum 1 minute later. And
Mm.
I think that's also something, putting yourself in the box and trying to please them, and it won't work because you have to sleep.
Exactly. Not only
Um,
sleep, you have to. It's not all about other people. It's
mm,
not about. I mean, you want to offer good quality on your stuff, right? And
mm,
if you're supposed to be 24/7 online, it doesn't work, and you cannot help people by just giving and giving and giving.
mm,
You have to put up a boundary. Boundaries are good. boundaries does not mean that you are being a rude person. Boundary means that you're taking care of yourself, and that is what people must understand. Boundaries are good.
Cool. Let's look at one more comment from Daniel Nugura S. He wrote
Mhm.
a really, really very long comment in which he described his approach to keep the firm direction for himself.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't read out all of it because it's just a really long comment, but I
Mhm.
can really recommend everyone to read it. Let's take one part of his conclusion
Mhm.
to find out to find out the figure you want to be. It is helpful to evaluate your physical, your psychological evolution, and always ask why do you like certain style or behavior or role models? Why do you like certain values?
Mm.
What's your opinion on that?
Good, great, good stuff. I mean, I read the whole comment also, and really great stuff there. Uh, I agree. It's always important to ask the why question.
Mhm,
For example, I, as Vikings, why do I love Vikings so much? Why do I like the Viking mindset? Or, for
mhm,
example, I also uh, love Nelson Mandela. He was a great person in my life. I someone who I looked up to. We
mhm,
had a former prime minister in Sweden. So why did I like the opinions of these persons? Why do I work with Viking mindset?
mhm,
And it's so important to know this. Otherwise, you can say, "Well, I'm a Viking mindset coach." Why? I don't know. I just think it's cool. No, you have to know, go deeper, and
mhm,
because this is about you.
mhm,
It's not about them. It's not about your role models. It's not about Nelson, in my case, Vikings role model, or no, Nelson Mandela or whatever. It's about me because I choose to use these values, to choose these that they offer, yeah, and to work forward with them. And so it's all about who do you want to be, as this comment, to find out the figure you want to be. And it's important because we only have one life. I go back to that comment. We only have one life, and there's only one you. So you better there's no rerun.
mhm,
We have one life and we have no rerun. So we better make the best out of it. And in order to make the best out of it, we need to go inside to our heart, to our mind, to our soul. Who am I? What do I believe? What do I like? And then put up these boundaries
mhm,
to connect to the other comment. Put up these boundaries because this is you. And don't
mhm,
let anyone tell you different because
mhm,
we are different. Human beings are different. And you are you. This person is another person.
mhm.
The third person has another view. But who is to judge if this third person's view is better than yours?
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
just not my view or is my view. So it's no
Yeah.
validation of it. Cool. That's
Exactly.
great. Thank you for the discussion so far. I have one more question to you because it's about our our project in total.
Mhm.
Um, how important do you think is the continuous and structured effort to build stable friendships and relationships?
I believe friendships and stable relationships is the essence of life.
Mhm,
Uh, because without friends, without good relationships, I mean, you don't have to be in a relationship, but to be with friends, to find
mhm,
someone, you don't have to have a huge amount of friends. For example, I'm a very social person, so I know many people,
mhm,
uh, but I'm in a process right now to create new friendships, as most of my friends left during those 25 years when I was abused because she
Mhm.
controlled me in every sense, you know, so there was no use having friends. They would
Mhm.
say, Johan, do you want to go out and do this and that? And I said, oh, sorry, I have to just check first. And not, and then, of course, I couldn't, no.
Mhm.
So what I mean is that it is the most beautiful thing is to find a like-minded soul.
Mhm.
And friendship have many shapes. It doesn't mean that you have to stick around every minute of each day.
Mhm.
You just have, you know, someone who appreciates you for who you are, because that is the essence.
Mhm.
Never try to get a friend in a way that where you lose yourself.
Oh, then you end up in a one-sided friendship again. Mhm.
Exactly, exactly.
Cool. Yeah, Johan, it was amazing to have you in this live stream today. Thank you so much for joining the discussion. If you ever like, I would love to repeat a chat like this in the future. If you're
Mhm.
available, would be great
Yes,
because we have
whenever,
a.
you know, there's so much to talk about, and
Mhm.
this was one topic.
Mhm.
But you know, there are a lot of other topics that are related to what I've been through, and that
Mhm.
could be interesting to discuss because, you know, there are people
Mhm.
who have come out of destructive, abusive relationships, but are
Mhm.
not ready to. I noticed that, you know,
Mhm.
that topic didn't receive one vote, but it's not because. But I
Mhm.
noticed that, but it's because, you know, it's a very
Mhm.
taboo. This topic is
Topic is
taboo. Yeah.
Mhm.
So please know, you who are listening to this, that maybe one of you have been through this. It's not a shame. I've been through it. We are people. We didn't choose to become abused.
Mhm.
It doesn't make us lesser persons. It makes us a person who have overcome this. And
Mhm.
for those who have come out, I'm here. I will put my contact information, group
Mhm.
and whatever in the comments of the this, so you can, if you want to get in touch, maybe you
Mhm.
know someone who has been a victim. I'm here, and
Mhm.
my mission is to help.
Cool.
I
I'm looking
really
forward.
appreciate Matthias for having me this evening and giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
You are welcome. And I'm looking forward to read more from you in our group
Yeah,
because you have been
sure.
participating as well.
Exactly.
And thank you all of you visitors for joining as well. See you again in our group Friendship Skill 4.0 for this digital age. All the best and have a beautiful rest of the day or start into the new day because I have different time zones. Always. Cool. I'm going to end the podcast.
Mhm.
Here it is.